dietetic intern with the Maricopa County Department of Public Health. In this video, I'm going to do a quick demonstration for how to put together a hummus and veggie wrap. Without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so right now I have out all of the materials and the foods that we need for the recipe. One thing to consider before you even get started is what kind of consistency do you want your hummus to be? Most store-bought hummuses are very smooth, and so if that's the case, you're going to want to use some sort of food processor or mixer or blender if you have enough liquids. In this particular recipe, I'm just going to go with my hand and a spoon and a bowl just because I really like the texture that comes with certain kinds of hummus where you can taste pieces of the bean when you take bites. And so we're going to get rid of some of this equipment. Okay, so I have washed my hands, my produce is all washed and ready to go. And so what I'm going to do first is we are going to take a look at the hummus. And in order to do that, we first need to drain our beans. Now what's great about when you drain beans is not only does it get rid of excess sodium, but it also takes care of some of those adverse reactions when people eat beans, kind of inside their GI system. Whoa, losing some. And so you just kind of want to swirl that around until you're losing the foam that you can see building up in the beans. Now you can use a strainer like what I have, or you can also use like a colander that you might use for pasta or to drain lettuce, stuff like that. Those will all work just fine as well. Okay. I'm going to pour that into my bowl. To make it a little bit easier for myself in terms of getting that squished together is I'm just going to heat it up in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Okay, so my beans are done. Let's go ahead and pull that out. And all you're going to do is just spend some time mashing those guys up. So, not sure how well this will show, but you can see that there's still a few whole beans in there, but most of them have been mashed down and into little varying sizes of pieces. So now that our beans are all mixed, we're going to add the rest of the ingredients for the hummus. And so let's start with the yogurt. This is a low-fat plain yogurt. I really like this brand a lot because it has very little added sugars for any of the varieties that they offer. Yogurt is definitely one of those foods that has a lot of hidden sugars depending on what type you're getting. And definitely the brand is going to determine different amounts of sugar. In this particular one, there is no added sugars. I like that a lot. So we need a half a cup of this yogurt. Add that in. Okay. We also need a tablespoon of lemon. 1 tablespoon of that. And we need a tablespoon of cumin. Okay, nice and level. Pop that in. Okay, so our last ingredient to add into the hummus is our garlic. We only need 1 clove of garlic. At the end of the thing, you can see its little attachment point. If you cut that guy off, then usually you can press down and take the peel off pretty nicely. Okay, so once you have your garlic all peeled, then you're just going to go ahead and chop that up. You want the pieces to be pretty small. Let's add that in. Okay. And so now all I got to do is stir this all up. So that's about good enough for me, as long as the different ingredients seem to have kind of mixed in pretty evenly. You can see what it looks like. It's not like a completely cohesive consistency. You can still see some bumps and some of the full beans, which I like. Okay, so now we are into the veggie prep portion of our wrap. One thing I really like about them is that they're super versatile. And so this recipe specifically calls for 1 cucumber, 1 tomato, 1 pepper. Realistically, whatever veggies you like, spinach, zucchini, if you like kale or lettuce, you can put any of those things on here and substitute it out for what you see in front of you. And so these particular veggies are all right now seasonal in Arizona. And so that means that their nutrients are going to be at their highest point when we have seasonal produce. And some of them are also local. So these peppers are both from the Crooked Sky farm. And then this cucumber is from the Blue Sky farm in Litchfield, Arizona, but they also were at the Gilbert's Farmers Market. And this tomato just came from Safeway, but it still is seasonal at this point. It just might not be local. Again, with the cucumber and the peppers, these are all really kind of wonky vegetables in terms of cutting. So you really just got to find a method that works for you. This guy's a little funky. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of cut off that end. I'm still going to use it. I'm just going to cut him off for now, and I'm going to cut off the other end. And then what I like to do is to slice it right down the center so it makes it nice and flat. And then I'm going to put it into a couple different slices. And then these guys, oh, it smells super good. So these guys then are ready to go into bite-sized pieces. Okay, so we have all of our produce cut up now, and before we get into assembly, I just want to talk a little bit more about the farmer's market, because if you are a SNAP or EBT holder, participant, then you actually have the opportunity to take advantage of the Double Up Food Bucks program that exists here in Arizona. And so what that means is that if you have $20 of your EBT benefits, you can spend that at the farmer's market and get an additional $20 to spend absolutely free. So you're doubling your money. $20 used to be the maximum, but because of COVID right now, there actually is no maximum benefit. So if you wanted to spend 55 of your EBT or SNAP dollars, you could spend 55 and get an additional $55 to spend at the farmers markets. And there are farmers markets that are participating all over the Phoenix Valley and all over Maricopa. Definitely something to check out if you haven't already. So now we're going to get into assembling our wraps. And I have these Olay, they're called Extreme Wellness Wraps. They are high in fiber. They are whole wheat based. And so I think they're a really good option. Actually, I think there's 11 grams of fiber in each tortilla wrap, which is awesome. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, this recipe calls for 4 wraps. I am not making 4 wraps right now. I'm just going to make 2, and I'm going to put all of the rest ready for leftovers. I took the hummus back out of the fridge, and we're just gonna put it all together. So you're basically gonna take a quarter of what you've made, and you just wanna spread it. That was good. Okay. So this hummus that is left over, I'm going to just put into a container. I'm super big on meal prepping, and so although my recipe, called for 4, I have plenty of ingredients left to complete 2 more wraps tomorrow, and yeah, it'll be perfect. So put that away. Okay, so next we're just putting our veggies on top. Perfect. Okay, so the same with the leftover veggies. Just going to put them into a container for later. Okay, so the last thing you want to do is just, if you want to kind of pre-wrap your wrap, or you could serve it just like this, but if you do want to actually wrap it to some degree, you can fold the bottom and then just kind of squeeze together the sides, and that at least gives you a bit of a grab in order to eat. Okay, so earlier I mentioned how important fiber was. One thing I wanted to add on is the idea that fiber, there's 2 different kinds. There's soluble and there's insoluble, and they do very different things within our system. And so soluble fiber actually will take on water as it's going through your system, and it kind of creates this like gel and moves slowly through your system. The insoluble fiber is unable to be dissolved, and so what it does is it kind of works through your system quicker than the soluble, and it actually scrubs at your sides as it's going through. So it does 2 very, very important things within our system. So that's why fiber is pretty important for us. Okay, so I hope that this is something you will make for yourself in the future. Again, it's super easy and really versatile, so you can kind of make it however you want to. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you.